Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Jnanatirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lata Shri Vishakhantikamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusuti Pranamami Hari Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Vipasindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Shri Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Savitame Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Mukham Karoti Vacharam Shri Guru Dinitaram Krishna So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, entitled Karma, Action and Krishna Consciousness. So we are on text 8. So this is 8 and 9. 8, 9 together. Neva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavet Pashyan Shriman Sprishan Jikran Asnan Gachan Swapan Swasan Pralapan Vishrijan Grihinan Unmishan Nimishan Api Indriyan Indriyartheshu Vartanta Iti Dharanan. So this is describing a person who is in total Krishna consciousness, who self-realized. How does he behave? What is his consciousness? No, never, ever, certainly. Kinchit, anything. Karomi, I do. Iti, thus, yuktaha, engage in the divine consciousness. Manyita, things, tattvavit, one who knows the truth. Pashyan, seeing, shrinvan, hearing. Sprishan, touching. Chikran, smelling. Ashnan, eating. Gachan, going. Swapan, dreaming. Shwasan, breathing. Pralapan, talking. Vishrijan, giving up. Grihanan, accepting. Unmishan, opening. Nimishan, closing up in spite of Indriya, Ani, the senses. Indriya Artheshu. In sense gratification, Vartante, let them to end. So engaged, Itidas. Dharayan, considering. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. So the body is going through its natural motions, right? But this person who is self-realized, he knows that actually it's not that I'm opening my eyes and opening my ears. Okay, soul is giving instruction, open your ears or close your eyes, right? Right? But he knows that it's going on automatically, right? The soul doesn't want to go to the toilet, right? But the body is forced, right? Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving or opening or closing his eyes, they always know that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he's aloof from them. Is it clear? Is it clear? Perfect. A person in Krishna consciousness is pure in his existence and consequently has nothing to do with any work which depends upon the endeavor and fortune. This is very important. Very important, meaning that when we are in Krishna consciousness, we endeavor that endeavor is not depending on our fortune. It's not depending on our karma. Right?
Endeavor means like our method.
Endeavor meaning our efforts, our attempts, right? So, I read it again. This is because he's engaged, so the doer, the work, the situation, the endeavor and fortune. So that when we do an action, this will come in chapter 18. There are 5 factors that determine whether you're able to do an action or not. So number 1, so let's just look at it since Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. So this is 18, chapter 18, let me look where it is. Text 14. chapter 18, text 14. Prabhupada has paraphrased this here. So a person in Krishna consciousness is pure in his existence, and consequently he has nothing to do with any work which depends upon 5 immediate and remote causes. So what are these? Adhishthanam, place, karta, the worker, karanam, instruments. Pritak vidham, of different kinds, vididha, various pritak, separate. Cheshtaha, endeavors, devam, the supreme. The place of work, meaning the body, the performer, the various senses, the different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. These are the 5 factors of action. So when we want to do something, right, so these 5 factors are involved, meaning the doer, that I'm doing, all right, and the work that I'm doing, the situation, the endeavor and fortune.
Mataji, the 5 factors of action refers to.
Yeah, Prabhupada gave the doer, the karta, the doer, the work, the situation, the endeavor and fortune. The place of action, adhishthanam. Adhishthanam, this is the place, this is the body, right? Adhishthanam, the situation. Adhishthanam, the performer who is doing it, the karta. The various senses, meaning the karanam, meaning the different senses that you are using.
Yes.
The endeavor, cheshta, cheshta, and then devam, your good luck, bhag, right? You say bhag, right?
Yes.
When you do something, you say now, our bhag will decide whether we have it or not. When we are in Krishna consciousness, it doesn't depend on our bhag. It doesn't depend on these 5. Right? We'll read it again. A person in Krishna consciousness is pure in his existence, and consequently he has nothing to do with any work which depends upon 5 immediate and remote causes. The doer, the work, the situation, the endeavor and fortune. You follow?
Mataji, I am getting a little confused.
Yes.
So the 5 immediate causes is this, the doer, the endeavor, the
Immediate and remote causes.
These are immediate and remote, both. These are both.
They are the immediate and remote causes. Remote meaning deva. Right? The remote cause. Deva. You know, like for example, maybe observing this. Let's say we put children together. As we put children together, 5 children together, they're going to fight, right? Family, brothers and sisters, right? When father, mother will come, especially father will come, right? Everything is peaceful, isn't it? I observe that. Right? Now, if the father, mother dies, father, mothers die, so these grown-up adults, these grown-up adults, they start to fight as if they are children. Is it true?
Yes.
It's amazing. It's truly amazing, right? When you were 5-year-old, 10-year-old, you were fighting like kids. When you're 50, 60-year-old, when your father and mother dies, the children, they fight. It's amazing. They fight for what? Property. Right? So, do you think nobody's observing them?
Krishna is observing.
Krishna is observing as it is, you know. Pancham, right? It's Pancham. Panchamam.
These 5
Panchanam.
factors.
Right? The 5th element. Devam. Devam Chakra Panchamaka. Devam. Alright? We are not alone in this world. Alright? So we believe, the children believe that, okay, father, mother's gone and nobody's observing me. Actually, the whole lineage is observing me. The Pitris, the ancestors, the Devas, right, the Saptarishis, they are all observing me, alright? And they are giving me the result of my karma, alright?
Yes.
Alright? We think, that the person has vanished out of the scene. Now I'm all by myself, I can just do what I want. So here, so in this world there are 5 immediate and remote causes. Meaning I myself, my body, the work that I perform, and then the situation, a situation meaning my father, mother's gone. I just give you one example, father, mother's gone. The situation. The endeavor, how do I, the effects that I make, and then the fortune, providence, Devam. Right? When we are in Krishna consciousness, these 5 factors, they don't work. Alright?
Yes.
Why? Let's continue. This is because he's engaged in the loving transcendental service of the Lord, of Krishna. Although he appears to be acting with his body and senses, he's always conscious of his actual position, which is spiritual engagement. See, this is a matter of practice. Alright? This is a matter of practice. If you believe, everything that's around you is for you to grab and enjoy, you're practicing this. Alright? You believe this and you practice. You go on, so that's how one brother, one sister bully the others in the home. Right? And if they are not checked or corrected, right, they will go on bullying, right?
Yes.
They're practicing to bully.
Yes.
You follow? So here we are practicing to serve Krishna. We are practicing to understand that nothing belongs to me, everything belongs to Krishna. By my misfortune, I have fallen into this body, have taken birth in this body, and now I want to come out from this situation. So I'm aware that I'm a servant of Krishna, and whatever work I'm doing it to please Krishna. Alright?
Yes.
So the world, the drama of the world will go on, but you are in your own consciousness. Alright? You follow? This was being described here. The self-realized soul. The whole drama is going on around. Right? You are in your own self, Krishna consciousness.
You are not affected by that.
Yes, you're not. Why you are not affected? Because you are in consciousness of your actual position. Alright? In material consciousness, the senses are engaged in sense gratification. But in Krishna consciousness, the senses are engaged in the satisfaction of Krishna's senses. So, endeavors, we spoke of endeavors, right? Why do we feel upset, angry, depressed? When my endeavors,
Don't give us fruits.
fail, right? See, I put in so much time and energy, right?
Yes.
If that's okay, time and energy is one thing, I put money, It's horrible. That you can't, right? You can't tolerate. I put in money and I lost, right?
Yes.
Like this lady, this was senior lady. She was talking to me. So she told me how she has a younger sister. Her father, mother died. So this lady, she sacrificed her life. She didn't get married. She worked because she has a younger sister. She has to take care of this girl. So what did she do? Sad story. She worked her entire life for this younger girl, sweet girl, right? Clothed her, fed her, educated her, everything, got her married. It was like the goal of the life. Get this girl married. This sister didn't get married. The sister, the little girl, broke the marriage.
Why?
I don't know. Everything was given free, right? Don't value. Don't value. So this lady, she was completely finished. She said, I gave my entire life for this girl. I sacrificed. This is how we feel, right? My youth, my own marriage, everything, right? I gave away everything for this one person. Doesn't appreciate what was done for her. Finished. Right? So this is how we feel in material consciousness. The senses are engaged in sense gratification. So we become depressed, angry, suicidal, or we want to fall in sinful activities. Alright? This is how people fall in sinful activities when they're frustrated that I worked so hard. Right? So she was only thinking not of Krishna. Whatever she was doing was for sense gratification, obviously. Right?
Yes.
Krishna was not in the picture. Right? If Krishna consciousness would have been given, right? Understanding would have been given, right? Then both parties would have been in a better situation. So because we are working for sense gratification, therefore these 5 factors, they hit us very hard. So although he appears to be acting with his body and senses, he is always conscious of his actual position, which is spiritual engagement. In material consciousness, the senses are engaged in sense gratification. But in Krishna consciousness, the senses are engaged in the satisfaction of Krishna's senses. So I'll just take a difference, like how something different would have happened for this lady. Okay? Obviously, she was young herself when she lost both parents. If she was Krishna conscious, she would be in satsanga, she would be studying Bhagavad Gita, she would be chanting, she has a younger sister, she will educate a girl, she will bring her in Krishna consciousness. Because if they're still small, they can be influenced, right? When they grow up, then you can't do anything, right? So, when she has done her best and this girl ditched her, she will still have,
Krishna.
she will be left with Krishna. Will you?
She was what?
She will still have Krishna and the girl ditched her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now she lost both ways. Because you can't trust. Who is who? What will they do? How they think, right? So, but in Krishna consciousness, the senses are engaged in the satisfaction of Krishna's senses, meaning the duty that she has taken upon herself to raise that younger girl, right? If it was being done out of duty to please Krishna, the outcome will be different. If not for both, but at least for one. Right? Therefore, the Krishna conscious person is always free, even though he appears to be engaged in affairs of the senses. I'm taking this one example, alright, but applies to anybody, any situation. I'm taking this one example. So, therefore, the Krishna conscious person is always free. Free from what?
Free from karma.
Free from karma bandhan, free from the attachment, right?
Dualities.
Yeah, it's free from specifically that attachment. If I'm doing it for Krishna, then I'm detached in the work that I'm doing for that person. So if the person does not, and parents with children, right? Sometimes devotee parents, they are doing everything for the children just woke up, right? So parents, they feel very hurt. You know, my child just woke up, this is not interested in Krishna consciousness. But does the parent give up their Krishna consciousness? They don't. They don't. They will think, so they're free. You understand? They're free. If they were not free, they will also go, yeah, they will also fall. They will fall. If you know what is the meaning of freedom here? When you are doing your duty, but you are doing it for the satisfaction of Krishna, you are free. It's not that you have no sentiments. It's not that you are not hurt. But you don't follow the path that the other person is following. You use your freedom to choose to stay with Krishna, even if the other person has gone off. Sometime in marriage it happened, right? One partner, so they are in Krishna consciousness, but one partner decide, no, I don't want to follow Krishna consciousness. Then what will happen? Both will say, okay, let me run and disappear also. No, right? If one partner is not following, you continue. You are free. You follow? These are the secrets of work and relationships. Right? Therefore, the Krishna conscious person is always free, even though he appears to be engaged in affairs of the senses. Activities such as seeing and hearing are actions of the senses meant for receiving knowledge. So I'm seeing, I'm hearing, whereas moving, speaking, evacuating, etc. are actions of the senses meant for work. Jnanendriya and Karmendriya. Alright? The Indriyas who wish to get knowledge, jnana, and Karmendriya, the working senses, we call it. And the moving senses. A Krishna conscious person is never affected by the actions of the senses. He cannot perform any act except in the service of the Lord, because he knows that he is the eternal servitor of the Lord. Right? Okay, Sangita? Brahmanyadhaya karmani Sangam Chakra Karotiyah
लिप्यते न पापेन पत्रामपमसा. Brahmani unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Adhya, Adhaya, resigning, Karmani, all works, Sangam, attachment, Tyaktva, giving up, Karoti, performs, Yah, who, Lipyate, is affected, Na, never, Sa, he, Papena, by sin, Padma Patram, a lotus leaf, Eva, like Ambasa, by the Ambhasa, by the water. One who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. Purport. Here, Brahmani means in Krishna consciousness. The material world is a sum total manifestation of the three modes of material nature, technically called the pradhana. Pradhan. The Vedic hymns Sarvam He Ittad Brahma Tasmad Ittad Brahma Namarupam Annam Cha Jayate. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamma Yonir Mahad Brahma indicate that everything in the material world is a manifestation of Brahman. And although the effects are differently manifested, they are non-different from the cause. In the Isho Upanishad, it is said that everything is related to the Supreme Brahman or Krishna, and thus everything belongs to him only. One who knows perfectly well that everything belongs to Krishna, that he is the proprietor of everything, and that therefore everything is engaged in the service of the Lord, naturally has nothing to do with the results of his activities, whether virtuous or sinful. Even one's material body, being a gift of the Lord for carrying out a particular type of action, can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. It is then beyond contamination by sinful reactions, exactly as the lotus leaf, though remaining in the water, is not wet. The Lord also says in the Gita 3.3, Mai Sarvani Karmani Sannyasa, resign all works unto me, Krishna. The conclusion is that a person without Krishna consciousness acts according to the concept of material body and senses, but a person in Krishna consciousness acts according to the knowledge that the body is the property of Krishna and should therefore be engaged in service of Krishna.
So one who performs his duty without attachment, I've just described quite easily. Surrendering the result unto the Supreme is unaffected by sinful action. Alright, so now this person, she did her own thing, right? What can you do? Right? So it's unaffected by sinful action, so the other person is doing something that's not proper. But as I'm saying, that if we have done our duty in Krishna consciousness, the person who has done his or her duty in Krishna consciousness is not responsible for how the other party is reacting or what the person is doing. Right? As the lotus leaf is untouched by water. See, the main problem that I deal in the material world. As soon as we take birth in this material world, we get wet. Right? You get contaminated by the material atmosphere. Right? The soul is in matter. The matter is contaminating. Now, through Krishna consciousness, we have to stay afloat, just like water and oil. Right? So, oil flows on water. There's a mix. However much we try to mix oil and water, you can't mix. Right? Here, Brahmani means in Krishna consciousness. The material world is a sum total manifestation of the three modes of material nature, Pradhan. So that's why we're saying Pradhan. Now, the Vedic times, Sarvam Yetat Brahman, Tasmad Etat Brahmanama Rupa Anandam Chasyate. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Mama Yoni Mahad Brahma indicate that everything in the material world is a manifestation of Brahman. And although the effects are differently manifested, they are non-different from the cause. philosophy. Philosophy.
Everything is manifestation.
With always already. Just be careful of this. All right, so this is now heavy duty philosophy. So, this is Brahman. Everything that exists is Brahman. Right? So, the spiritual is Brahman. Alright? And the material also is Brahman. It is Brahman. Alright? But this spiritual got converted into material. Alright? The source is same. And now we are doing a reverse process. We are reversing material into spiritual. So if my body, oh God, these things don't work. Oh my God, it doesn't work. Anyway, if my body is made of matter, if I use this body in Krishna's service, it becomes spiritual. Plain simple. You understand? It's same substance. It's Brahman. Brahman is spiritual and material. When we misuse spiritual, it becomes material. When we use it properly, it reverts back to spiritual. Understand? Yes.
There was one slook that we had done earlier. I don't know which one, but there this word Brahman was there 3 times. Is it related to that?
Yes. Brahma Havir, Brahma Hutam, etc., etc. Brahma Rupa.
Yes, about Bhog and
Yeah, yes, correct. Same. So let me see again. Yeah, 4:24. So in the Ishopanishad, it is said that everything is related to the Supreme Brahman or Krishna, and thus everything belongs to him only. Alright? One who knows perfectly well that everything belongs to Krishna, that he is the proprietor of everything, and that therefore everything is engaged in the service of the Lord, naturally has nothing to do with the results of his activities, whether virtuous or sinful. Like Arjun, alright? Arjun is trying to be virtuous, right? Arjun is trying to be virtuous. He says, I'm not going to fight and kill these aggressors even though they may kill me unarmed. He wants to be virtuous, right? But while he's been trying to be virtuous, he's actually being sinful. Why?
because
Thinking about himself.
Yeah. If he let go of these miscreants, what will happen?
Adharma.
Yes. If he let go of these miscreants will rule and they will create adharma. Right? So that's what's being said here. He's beyond contamination. Wait, where are we? It has nothing to do with the result of his activities, whether virtuous or sinful. Even one's material body, being a gift of the Lord for carrying out a particular type of action, can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. So my body, maybe I'm a singer. I should have the throat of a singer, right? The body is made like this. Not everybody can sing, right? Somebody is a cook. Material nature has endowed, right, this person with a cooking ability. Now, material nature has given cooking ability to every woman. All right? Material nature hasn't given ability to every man. But that ability has been given to every woman. Right? And we should not become stunted. Right? Handicapped. As I said, everything that you do, you have to practice, then it comes out. Right? Basic at least. Or cleaning. Right? Cleaning. This is also a quality of the woman. So why? Because attention to detail. Right? A woman, she can see. Right? Boys, they can't see. Unless they become Brahminical. When they're trained as Brahmanas, then they become first-class cooks. They become first-class cleaners. Right? But by nature, I'm just speaking here, Prabhupada is speaking about even one's material body being a gift of the Lord for carrying out a particular type of action. So this is what we mean by a particular type of action. All right? Maybe somebody is a sport person, okay? Man or woman. The body is like this. They can do sports. Anybody here is a sport woman? You break, right? You try to do sport, you break. I remember when I was at school, we're playing volleyball, throwing the ball. So it hit me. And I said, goodbye. Immediately I was 12 years old. All right? Hit me. And I said, okay, volleyball is not for me. It will break my body, right? But my other friends, you play that volleyball. God, I ran away from it. I joined the dancing class. We had the choice. Either, either PE or this dancing class, Kathak. So I chose. You understand? Your body has been created for a particular type of work. So, even one's material body being a gift of the Lord for carrying out a particular type of action can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. It is then beyond contamination by sinful reactions. So, I'm just taking simple, easy to understand, singer, all right? So, if I use my voice as a singer, and I use it to glorify Krishna, this is Krishna consciousness. If I use this voice for lusty songs, right? Then I am enticing the lust in other people's hearts, right? So I get the result. So even once material body being a gift of the Lord for carrying out a particular type of action can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. It is then beyond contamination by sinful reactions, exactly as the lotus leaf, though remaining in the water, is not wet. You have seen? Have you seen a lotus leaf in water?
Yeah.
You have seen? No?
Yes.
Yes. Garima hasn't seen. You have seen? All the children haven't seen anything, right? Now you have to go to parks, right? Don't just stay in this congested city, right? You have to go to parks, right? In villages, is there? You find in villages the lotus, right? Please make it a point. Look where the lotus flowers, this lily, water lily, right? The water is floating, and even if water comes on it, it falls off.
Even the water
Comes on the leaf, it falls off. It doesn't keep, it doesn't soak, right? Yeah, it is then beyond contamination by a sinful reaction, exactly as the lotus leaf, though remaining in the water, is not wet. Meaning you, the material body, stays in this material world, but it remains in Brahman. All right? Brahman consciousness. Therefore, the material world doesn't affect you. The Lord also says in the Gita 3:30, Mai sarvani karmani sannyasa. Resign all works unto me, Krishna. See, usually pious people, they will endeavor, they'll do their best. And then when they can't, what will they say? Leave it. Leave it to Krishna, right? Older generation, this is what every single woman I have met. When they fail, they will say, leave it to Krishna. Even when they are losing whatever, now the younger girls, they have to learn this. Then you can be peaceful. Otherwise, you become angry, revengeful, intolerant. Right? Resign all works unto me. The conclusion is that a person without Krishna consciousness acts according to the concept of the material body and senses. But a person in Krishna consciousness acts according to the knowledge that the body is the property of Krishna and should therefore be engaged in the service of Krishna. If I believe my body is my own for sense gratification, then I'm going to exploit that body. You follow? Just like other people are exploiting your body, you yourself, you will exploit your own body. But if you know your body belongs to Krishna, you'll be very careful how you utilize Krishna's property. Correct? You can relate to this? This is very empowering, extremely empowering. If you understand that this body is a gift of the Lord and it is to be used in His service, I will never do any sinful activity. Right? Never do any sinful activity because the body doesn't belong to me. I will not exploit my own body. Right? See, I feel very sorry, this education is not given. Right? This education is not given. So therefore, youngsters are committing sinful activities because they think their body is for them to enjoy and exploit. Right? And they are reckless, totally reckless. They don't realize the consequence. Right? This Devam is keeping the record. Right? Text 11. Kayena manasa buddhya kevalerindriyerapi yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye. All right.
Kaina with the body, Manasa with the mind, Buddhya with the intelligence, Kavalehe purified Indriya with the sense, Api even, Yogina Krishna, conscious person, Karma action, Kurvati, Kurvanti, they perform Sangam, the attachment, Tyaktava, giving up, Atma of the self, Sudhya, for the purpose of purification. The yogis abandoning attachment act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification. Purport: when one act in Krishna consciousness for the justification of the satisfaction of the senses of Krishna, any action, whether of the body, mind, intelligence, or even the senses, is purified of material contamination. There are no material reactions resulting from the activities of a Krishna consciousness person. Therefore, purified activities, which are generally called asadakara, sadachara, can be easily performed by acting in Krishna consciousness. Shri Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasma Rata Sindhu, describes this as follows.
Iha
I-
yasya hare dasye
Iha
mana manasa
gira nikhila
svati avashtasu
जीवन
jivan
मुक्त
mukta
स उच, उच, उच्यते, उच्यते. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person even within the material world. Although he may be engaged in many so called material activities, he has no false ego, for he does not believe that he is the material body or that the possession of the body. He knows that he is not this body and that this body does not belongs to him. He himself belongs to Krishna, and the body too belongs to Krishna. When he applies everything produced of the body, mind, intelligence, words, life, wealth, etc., whatever he may have within his possession to Krishna's service, he is at once dovetailed with Krishna. He is one with Krishna and is devoid of the false ego that leads one to believe that he is the body extra. Extra. This is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness.
Let's analyze this. So this is the conclusion. The yogis abandoning attachment. We have discussed this. Abandoning attachment. Act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses. Kayena manasa buddhya indriya. Alright, so our senses, our eyes, ears, etc. Our mind. It's mind that keeps on shifting, looking for enjoyment. Then our intelligence. Body, mind, intelligence, senses. So it's purified. So one who's acting in Krishna consciousness, he's purified of material contamination. Meaning that how he becomes purified of contamination, real contamination. Again, it is a question of practice. Right? If with others. Right? If you practice to have only Krishna Prasad, right? Only Krishna Prasad. If you happen to see a food that is not prasadam, your tongue wouldn't want it.
Tongue will not want it.
Right? You have experienced those who are having only Krishna Prasad. Right? You may go anywhere. If you know this food is not prasadam, you're seeing this is not prasadam because your tongue is purified. Right? You will refuse to have that food. Right? So this is a question of practice. Just a question of practice, that's all. We practice to be Krishna conscious. Sadhana bhakti is devotional service in practice. So I consistently refuse to have food which is not offered to Krishna. Right? Just like meat, fish. I have this friend. She told me, so she was not vegetarian before she came to Krishna consciousness. She told me even after initiation, if she happened to have the smell, alright, she happened to have the smell of food which is not vegetarian, right? She get that smell. She said she gets attracted, but she doesn't react upon it. And then gradually, that went away. You follow? It's a question of practice. But if I give in, it's okay, little bit is okay, right? Then you are developing the wrong habit. Right? So when we are in human body, this is like the lock is being opened. But the soul to become free from the body. And we are locked inside the body, right? But when you're a human being, the lock is being opened by training and practice. You don't train, you don't practice. So that's why we keep saying parents have heavy duty, heavy responsibility. Parents. And if by chance, no training from home, but you become conscious of Krishna, then you have to take the responsibility, you have to put in the effort to improve yourselves. Right? And Krishna helps. Krishna helps. Krishna doesn't want us to be defeated. Krishna wants us to succeed. So he helps. Okay? Therefore, there are no material reactions resulting from the activities of a Krishna conscious person. Therefore, purified activities which are generally called sadachar. Sad means real, proper. Achar means behavior. The result of Krishna consciousness is proper behavior. Proper behavior. And it's taught and it is learned. Because right now we have no achar. Durachar. Right? We have durachar and we have been trained to become durachar. Right? The whole world is training us how to become durachar. And we say anyway everybody is durachar. If I don't follow them then I will be out of the game, right? We just heard Prabhupada saying how in Kali Yuga everybody was sadachar, properly behaved. In Satyuga, in Treta Yuga, 75 people, they were sadachar. In Dwapar Yuga, it was equal 50-50. In Kali Yuga, it is 75 and 25. 75 people are Durachar, 25 people are percent of Sadachar. And if you don't associate properly, you will come in the 75%. Right? Very risky this Kali, extremely risky because the majority of people are Durachar. So here I want to explain it. Therefore, purified activities which are generally called sadachar can be easily performed by acting in Krishna consciousness. Sri Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.187 describes this as follows. Iharesya hare dasya karmana manasa vida. Same word. Karmana means action, manasa means your mind, Vira means your words. So a person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, acting in Krishna consciousness, meaning that your endeavor is to serve Krishna. With his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person, even within the material world, although he may be engaged in so many so-called material activities. And you have to eat, you have to sleep, right? You have to go and earn, and all this. But if we are doing it with the goal of pleasing Krishna, in developing my Krishna consciousness, this is spiritual activity. He has no false ego, or he doesn't believe that he is material body. So here we are, the little one here. Okay. His soul in body. If that Atma identifies with the body, wherever the body feels like going, because now the soul has come under the dictates of the mind, right? So this whole Atma will go wherever the mind takes the soul, right? But when Atma has become stronger, right? Atma has become stronger. Therefore, Atma will detach itself from the body. Then, the Atma will make the body work according to the desire of the soul. And if the soul is taking instructions from Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's words, from Guru, from Sadhu, therefore, behavior of the body will be proper. Hello? Hello?
जी
Mataji, repeat this.
Somebody has to repeat what she said. Repeat.
Mataji told that when our soul, like that, when our soul is not in the proper course of the body, it takes the works of the, it acts according to the, no, I cannot explain.
Okay.
So if the body takes the soul anywhere the body wants, so if our Atma is not strong, so we will fall into the trap of the body will take us anywhere. So Atma has to be strong. So it will be detached from the body and it will give order to the body to work according to Atma's wish, not as body.
Right? And this body, the Baba said, false ego. Right? This Atma has no false ego. Where is that false ego situated? In the mind. Right? It's a function of the mind. Right? The mind thinks he or she is independent. Right? Like I gave the example. When father and mother stay away, children they became disciplined, quiet and cooperative. As soon as father and mother goes away, immediately there is chaos. We start fighting, right? Isn't it? Whether you're 5 years old, 10 years old, or you're 50 or 60-year-old, right? Because they believe there is no controller, right? They believe there's nobody to control them. Similarly, this Atma that has fallen into the body, believe it has no controller, no witness, right? Has no controller, no witness. So it's like now the soul becomes independent. The body, okay?
Yes.
The body, the mind feels they're independent and they don't take instruction from the soul. Dual. It's like psychological problem, right? Dual. That's what we call madness. It's actually madness. And that soul, Ahamkara Vibhudatma, what's that? Kriyamani. Prakriti Kriyamani.
And Karma. Karta hating.
Yeah, 327. 327. Prakriti Kriyamanani. Gune karma. Karmani sarvasah. Ahamkara Vibhudatma Prakraham Imanyate. The body actually is moving according to the laws of nature, right? And the enjoyment is happening through the mind, right? Enjoyment, relishing of pleasure, everything. And what is the greatest pleasure? To believe that I am the supreme, I'm the controller. Nobody can control me, right? This is what everybody wants. Every child wants to be independent, no control, right? This is the highest happiness. I can do what I like, right? This is the mind. Right? This is the mind. Don't interrupt you when I'm doing the line of thought because I lose it. So, the mind think it is free to do what it wants, and the soul is not in control to check the mind. Right? Now, when we are in Krishna consciousness, that soul doesn't have any ahankar. Right? Ahankar doesn't have a separate identity from being a servant of Krishna. So here, Prabhupada explained it. He has no false ego, for he doesn't believe that he is this material body. Are you able to follow this sentence? He has no false ego, for he doesn't believe that he is this material body. This material body which is described to you. Okay, that material body has a mind, thinks it's independent, doesn't need anybody to control him, believes he can be this controller. He can be beyond the jurisdiction of each and everyone. That's why that soul doesn't hesitate to do sinful activity, forbidden activity. Sinful activity means forbidden activities. Right? Or to misbehave towards others, to offend and insult others. Besides sinful activities, there's more serious is when you insult and you offend others. It's more serious. Right? Yeah. So, he has no false ego, for he doesn't believe that he is this material body, or that he possesses the body, or that he possesses the body. I mean, this is another he possesses the body. Why? He knows that he's not this body and this body doesn't belong to him. You are the owner of your body. You are like husbands. They believe they are the owner of their wife's body. Is it true? Is it true?
Very true.
No. But that's what they believe, right? This is the peak of ahankar of parents. They believe the bodies of my children belong to me. Right? I can do what I like with my child. Isn't it? So here, he knows that he's not this body and that this body doesn't belong to him. He himself belongs to Krishna, and the body too belongs to Krishna. I belong to Krishna, and my body belongs to Krishna. So simple, how peaceful we be, right? When he applies everything, produce of the body, mind, intelligence, words, life, will, etc., whatever he have within his possession to Krishna's service, he's at once dovetailed with Krishna. What is the meaning of dovetail? Like this and this becomes one. Alright? If this is me, this is Krishna, now I am separate. I'm separate. And when I join them, they're still individual. Right and left. They're individuals. Right? And some people may find that there is differences between my right hand and my left hand. Right? But when I put them together, they can become strong. Right? They can do some work, which I couldn't do with one.
With the one.
Right? So this is the meaning of dovetail. Joint. Even though I am individual and separate, but I am joined. He is one with Krishna and is devoid of the false ego that leads one to believe that he is the body. This is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Is it okay?
Yes.
If you haven't understood, I hope this has been recorded. Go back and listen. Because I can't repeat what I've taught. Alright? You cannot repeat, just good. Ask
Very
me.
deep meaning.
Very deep.
Ask me, say again what you just said.
This time you said that the husband thinks that the wife's body belongs to him. So that is same way that people get tattoos. So they think that the body is there. That's why they get it.
What's that?
People get tattoos.
Tattoos.
Yeah. So that is also must be the reason they get it.
You know, those who are older, you know that every grandmother had tattoos, right? Right? I know all my grandmothers. Everybody they had here. They will use, I don't know, some needle, they say with needle, they do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Olden days that all ladies they had.
Put their husband name. Put their husband names on their arm wall.
No, they had put Om also many used to put.
But
Something has to be there.
Yes.
Why Mataji?
Because you tell me why?
They say that it is mandatory that you should do. The reason I don't know.
You know, it's like now see the culture is lost, so therefore they put everything.
everywhere tattoo.
Yeah, now we call it tattoo. But actually, I know all my grandmothers had it was like greenish.
Green.
Greenish.
What it said Mataji? Your grandmother's time.
I don't know, it's too small, you know. But I saw everyone.
They put their husband's name.
People used to say they used to go to long drives, melas.
so nobody should get lost. That's why
They put their identity.
Identification, like we
Identification.
yeah.
We have banned.
A band.
And she
That's
told me that if the body will be burned, everything will go, but this will go with us.
Yeah, no, there are reasons for it, but now we do all types of tattoo, right?
It's a fashion,
It's a
Yeah.
fashion.
Yes.
like status symbol for the youngsters sometimes.
I
They
have
feel.
no idea, but I saw every. So now we call it tattoo, but I don't know what we call it.
That time I'll tell you.
I don't know what they call it. Yeah. See, everything gets distorted. When you lose the root of your culture, right? What happens? Everything gets diluted, and something is left. You know, just like one devotee, she told me she went to Surat. I think there's the Vapi river. Yes.
Tapi. Tapi river.
Right? So she told me, she said, you know, all these villages in that area, everybody just come and you know, just spread themselves on the main road and they put their picnic there.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. On the roads, this yes. Because I was posted in Surat.
No, it's just, what happened?
They just sit on the roads.
I'll tell you what.
Good families, huh, Mataji?
Just see, she's
Yes.
telling me, you know what? Maybe this is my speculation. Right or wrong, we guess. Because generations and generations in fields, picnic has been on the fields. But then suddenly the roads came in between. Did they give up their habits? You understand what I'm saying? Generation after generation, they have been having picnics in the open field. Suddenly, the rural development came, right, and put a road in between on their way, like Krishna made his picnic, right? And in between, suddenly they put a road. For them, it didn't change.
They went for picnics, like in their fields. Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it's not a question of right or wrong. I'm telling you, it didn't break their habits. But you think it's funny. Alright? You think it's funny. People go and sit on the roadside and have picnic. So similarly, the original, right? The original, God knows what it has become, the new research.
House Didi, she said that she has done her husband's name because she loves her husband. That's the meaning.
Okay.
And everybody in the Maharashtrian, they have to do it. And Mataji, then people take their lives also, they do suicide.
Sorry?
They do, people do suicide because they think that the body belongs to them and then they can take it.
Yeah.
So this is also false ego.
Yes, yes. People false you. Society, people false you. Total misunderstanding. And usually people who commit suicide they regret.
No?
They regret.
Yes. After suicide?
Yeah, they don't die immediately. They regret.
Because their decisions are taken at the spur of the moment sometimes.
Yeah. They regret.
What should they do, Madhuri? This happens. It happened in one of my relations in Chennai.
Yeah. What happened?
I don't know what, something happened to that boy. They sent him abroad. He studied everything. And he was not going back. He wanted to come back. Because then he couldn't concentrate on his study. They spent nearly 1-2 crores on him. So I went to Chennai just last 1.5 months when this happened. And we went to there is every day yoga tutor used to come teach him yoga. So one day the yoga teacher came before that only something went wrong in his mind we feel. That's what everybody is saying that he would have got a thought, some wrong thought. Something just drive him and he just fell from the terrace and died. He was just 20.
Oh.
So now they asked me what should we do, then I told them that one of them is there. And the sixth way.
See, that's why we're saying we believe this child belongs to me, right? Everything that owning money in that child.
Put so much of money into
So
it.
you see, it's an asset. That's what I mean. That when we believe that this child belongs to me, this wrong, right? Wrong,
Yes.
wrong. So many kids they commit suicide because of pressure. So many, right? And we believe that this child belongs to me. No, it doesn't belong to me. And everything is about status.
Yes.
Right? Everything is about status. You should be successful.
Yes.
You cannot be less
That's
than
it.
successful.
That's it.
Right? And you have just read here. You work according to the type of body you have received. Right? Your success is to work according to your own type of body you have received as a gift.
And everyone's caliber is
Right?
different.
You know, so if I'm a singer, if I'm good in singer, you say go and become an electric engineer. Is it good?
No.
And you go and pour in 1 crore to make this poor girl, poor boy become a, better let a person be a singer. Right? Oh, what's the value? Or you cook. I'm telling you. Right? This girl, that met, I was invited in a conference. And I told you before. This girl, she had the courage to take up cooking. And the whole family were engineers and medical people with engineers. She said, look, I want to learn cooking. She became an entrepreneur.
Became
Entrepreneur.
entrepreneur.
So that's why she was invited there. Successful women in their own field.
Fields.
Right? Anyway, like how children they develop humor, brain humor, right? Studying and sleeping, they're eating properly. Right? You send them abroad, you don't know what they're eating,
Okay.
what time they're sleeping, right? It eats up the brain, right? So the mind becomes weak, no? Mind becomes weak, and this is the opportunity that we just it's over, right? This Kali Yuga, that's where you hear about suicide. Your children falling in drugs. Everywhere, anywhere, they fall in drugs. So they don't know the value of their human body. And knowledge is not sufficient. Just reading Bhagavad Gita is not sufficient. You have to be in proper Sangha. Right?
Yeah.
Only your intelligence is not sufficient. You have to be in proper Sangha. You to be very weak, right? But weak, you're very weak.
Because sometimes they, like you said, now Mataji, this point, today, nowadays, everyone wants freedom, independence. The children also want independence. So likewise, they sometimes feel guilty that their parents are doing wrong, but they feel like no, their parents are investing so much money in them. They are in the pressure that they are wrong, even if they must be right in their place. That every independence is not wrong. Sometimes a person can use independence for his good also, but then he himself he is right, but he himself tells that no, he is wrong. He should do according to his parents, according to, so this pressure, not everyone can take.
So, what is independence? What is dependency? We understood, right?
They get confused.
What is dependence? What is independence? See, anyway, the Vedic system is very protective.
Yes,
Very
very true.
protective. You know, we come to destroy the Vedic system. Prabhupada writes, a girl at the age of 16 latest should be married, and a boy at the age of 23 latest should be married. Alright, this is the general instruction, unless the boy is very qualified and can take sannyas. Alright? So, this is family life, and they're staying with the parents, and they're considered children.
Yes.
Alright? They're considered children. They are maintained, they are looked after by the parents. When the boy becomes 30 years old, then he's left free. Alright?
Mataji, and the boy's life also has to be maintained by the parents until the boy is 50.
You know, any woman here is doing housework. Is she not earning her living? Is she not earning her living? I'm just saying. Why should she not be maintained? Right? It takes time and energy to maintain a house. Right?
Right.
But Mataji, now because their expenses is so much, they want to live a particular type of life. So their maintenance is not very basic, roti kapda makan, na. So for the parents, it becomes so much that already they have two children, then they have to.
Yeah, so that's why the Vedic system is village life. What do you need? You need food to eat. Right?
Right.
Village life. During coronavirus, what did everybody do in Bombay? Everybody ran away to village. Right?
Yes.
Yes. And they got food. Here, who Mumbai people, they want to queue up. Right? They want to queue up for the ration, right?
I was posted at Surat that time, Mataji, COVID time. So there were some belts were green zones. So there was no problem there. Like we went to office from day one. So our persons used to stay in that green zones and all now. They used to provide us with vegetables. And means they took care of us because we were in the offices from day one. Because it was the March closing and I was the head of the personal department. So like tough times I saw during those times. Like some very close of them expired and all. And then their children we had to take on compassionate appointments. So they were very tough times for me. That year was very tough. Posting and plus we could not come home. So what was there, what we were all left like to means that time first time na Mataji I had read the Bhagavad Gita. But without any in-depth meaning now. Means that was just my phase of starting reading like.
Krishna force.
So means it happened, it started during those days like.
COVID fights.
So little I started reading. But not like the depth meaning and all I could not get anything.
Nobody can get it.
Means like
Nobody can get it. If I didn't sit in the classroom and learn, there's no way I will understand this.
means how one word and all like means when I go back now I think I was just blank that time. Means this is my experience.
But Krishna stayed with you.
Yeah.
You understand? We not understanding. But Krishna is staying with us, and when the time comes, because we are sincere, so we seek association of teachers, and we learn from them. That's why I'm saying We are not independent. We are always under control. Right? It's an illusion to believe we are independent.
Material world, there are laws that follow this law.
There are laws. I'm saying that we are not alone. We believe we are alone. I can do what I like.
Yes, yes.
That's the problem.
Yes.
Or it's just me and my family and I control that. Right? But no, you are being controlled by outside forces. Right? So we need to be aware. This is basically how Krishna is saying, be aware of me and free from this world.
Yes.
This world. Be aware of me and you're free from this material world. Right? So it gets too difficult, just go and listen again because I'm actually not repeat what I said.
Golden words are said by Guru Maharaj.